Good morning, everyone. This is BremSter, and today I'm coming to you with all about 30. The puzzle is what I'm presenting, but apparently it's all about 30. I can see some things in here that are very about 30 and some things that aren't, but yeah, I've really no clue how this puzzle is going to work. There's a lot of 30s in this grid. This is by Schma. I know I haven't done a Schma puzzle before because I had to try and figure out how do I pronounce that. I don't know if Schma is a name or from a country I don't know. I've never been anywhere. Literally, I've been to like 3 countries in my life, and one of them was New Zealand, or 4. So yeah, it really doesn't count. I've never. Australia's a long way from anywhere. So. Yeah, this was a recommendation that came through, and it got through testing with some. Yeah, this is a lot of fun. So we'll see how this one goes. Uh, I've said it before. I'm recording well in advance at the moment because I've got to take a break for some events coming up. So I really can't tell you what's going on because I've got no clue. By the time this video comes out, my life could be completely different. So let's just get on to the puzzle, shall we? So normal Sudoku rules apply. So in every box, in every row, and in every column, we must place the digits 1 to 9 without repetition. Digits in cages sum to the number in the top left corner of the cage. Digits may not repeat within cages, which is relevant down here. So these 4 digits will sum to 30, and we cannot repeat digits. So a clue with an arrow outside the grid. Okay, so there are a couple of different types of arrows. A clue with an arrow outside the grid shows the sum of the digits along the indicated diagonals. Digits can repeat along this diagonal if allowed by other rules. So that's these clues here. And as always, whenever there is clues outside the grid, particularly top and bottom or left and right, in order to top and bottom is worse. In order to make it fit on the screen, the grid has to get a fair bit smaller. The more outside clues there are, the grid gets smaller, and it makes it harder for me to see, and it also makes it smaller to render on your screen, so sorry about that. But anyway, that means that the sum of these digits will be 30, and digits may repeat along those diagonals. Not will, may. So that's worth noting. And same is true along here, and the same is true along here. So those are all 6 digits, not that one, and that one. So we'll see how that one goes. The brown sandwich clues outside the grid give the sum of the digits between the 1 and the 9 in their row and column. These were originally also black, but people can get confused, so I've just recolored those clues so that the sandwich clues and these are little killer clues are well known. But this gives the sum of the 1 and the 9 in their respective row and column. Digits placed on an arrow must sum to the digit in that arrow circle. So the sum of these digits will get placed here. The sum of these digits will get placed here. Digits placed on an arrow, right, that's what I've just read. Cells separated by an X must sum to 10. Cells separated by a V must sum to 5, and not all X's and V's are given, so are necessarily given. There's a difference between given and necessarily given. I was playing around with a puzzle idea. I know this is a digression, but I was playing around with a puzzle idea which would leave you down to a deadly pattern, except for the fact that one of the dots, there was a dot that was not given, and if you didn't resolve the dot, and the rules would read, not all dots are given. Because if you didn't use the dot, because so many people just turn around and say not all dots are given, and what they mean is not all dots are necessarily given. Those are different things. But anyway, English, weird language, don't trust it. I'm going to restart the puzzle to restart my timer. Let's give this a shot. So, there's a lot we can tell about 30 cages. Normally I would talk about these arrows, but I'm going to get exactly the same deduction about these cells from about the cages. But I'm going to talk about the arrow thing anyway, because it's cool. I'm going to use it here. So I'm going to start with the arrow rather than the cages, even though I saw the cages first. So the minimum that you could put on a 3-cell arrow where the digits see each other, I've done this a lot over the last few days, so I may as well keep going with it, is 1, 2, and 3. If you add 1, 2, and 3, you get 6. So this has to be at least 6. Now, I could do the same in these, except for the fact that this is a 30 cage. And the If you add the 4 highest digits in the Sudoku universe that you can put together, which is 9, 6, and 7, 8, and the reason I say them that way is 9 and 6 add to 15, 7 and 8 add to 15. So if you add those two 15s, you get 30. So these must be 6, 7, 8, 9. These must be 6, 7, 8, 9. And you can see that I've got exactly the same deduction in those arrowheads. These are 6, 7, 8, 9. These are 6, 7, 8, 9. Not sure if I shouldn't be doing high-low coloring here. These two are 6, 7, 8, 9. I maybe should just be doing high-low coloring here. Because I've got some deductions. I'm going to remove all of those 6, 7, 8, 9s, and I'm going to color these digits as high. And I'm going to use yellow for high. I'm going to color these digits as high. I'm going to color these digits as high. And the reason I can color these two digits as high, and I can see a few more things I can do as well. And the reason I can color those two digits as high is this is a 30 cage. Now, one of the things we know about an entire row of the Sudoku is it will contain all of the digits from 1 to 9. If you add those digits together, you get 45. So if you add, I've just said 6, 7, 8, 9, those add to 30. But if you have the leftover digits 1 through 5, 1 to 4 is 10, and then you add 5, you get another 15 with the 1 through 5. So you're adding another 15 to the existing 30, you get to 45. There are multiple ways of calculating it. You could just add all the digits independently. There's a couple of different tricks, but 1 through 9 added together, 45. If you use that and you subtract 30 from the 45, then what you end up with is these two digits have to sum to 15. And as we've already discussed, 9 and 6 and 8, 7 are the only ways to make 15. So these are also from 6, 7, 8, 9. Now, in this puzzle, there's a few things going on here. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to mark all of these V clues. Now, a V clue must sum to 5. Now, you can never put anything 5 or higher on a V clue because those, if you do, then the other digit will have to either be 0 or negative. So those are all low digits. Now, if you look at an X clue, I'm not sure this is the way I should be solving this, but I'm going to do it anyway. If you look at an X clue, then the other side, if one digit is high, 6, 7, 8, 9, the other side must be 1, 2, 3, 4, because in order to sum to 10, you must use a low digit and a high digit. You can't use two high digits because you'll immediately hit 11 or higher. You can't use two low digits. The maximum you would get is 7. And you can't put a 5 on an X clue because it must go with a 5, and they're always orthogonally adjacent. They always see each other. So that's not going to work. So you've always got a low and a high digit. So this is going to be low. Now, the other place this is interesting is in column 9, because I've already got all 5 high digits, but we know this is a low and a high digit. So this is low and this is high, which has given me all 5 high digits in this column. Now, there's going to be other things going on in this puzzle, I'm sure, but this is where I'm starting. These are both low. I may be doing this wrong. I'm absolutely may be doing this wrong. Because I've also got to think about sandwich coloring. So maybe I do want to get rid of the high-low coloring, replace them with 1, 2, 3, 4, and 6, 7, 8, 9, and then think about sandwich coloring, because I think that's going to be important too. So, because I can tell, for example, yes, 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 and yes. This is 2, 3. Because of this 0 clue. And the reason is we know that these cells here are all 6, 7, 8, 9. So they're the only places 6, 7, 8, and 9 can go. Now, if I put 9 in either of these two clues, I've got to put a 1 right next to it to fulfill the sandwich clue, because there's 0 digits between the 9 and the 1. in this row. So I can't put 9 in either of those. If that's the 9, that has to be a 1, and I can't put a 1 on the V clue. If this is the 9, this is the 1, and I can't put a 1 on this V clue. So this is a 2, 3 V clue. Now, I'm not sure what that's doing to help me beyond that, but it's given me that as a 2, 3. I know one of those is a 1. But it's a 20 clue. With a... This is a 20 clue. This is a 6 clue. If this is the 9, this would have to be 6, 1. This is 6, 7, 8, 9. If this is a 9, hang on, if this is 9, 1, whoa, 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 whoa. There is stuff going on here. So we know one of these is a 1. If this is a 1, if this is the 9, this becomes the 1. If this is the 9, this becomes the 1. If this is a 1, how do I fulfill this 4 clue? I could go 1, 4, 9, 1, I suppose. But if this is... No, I can't, because of this V clue. This is nuts. So, if this is the 9, this would become the 1 in order to fill this 0 clue. Then I would need to make 4 in this column between the 1 and the 9. Now, if I include a high digit, I'm broken. So this would have to be the 4, which immediately makes this a 1, and I've put 2 1s in the box. So this can't be the 9. This has to be the 9, and this has to be the 1, which makes that a low digit. There is a 9 up here, and there is a 9 down here somewhere, which means I know this isn't the 9, not because of those, but because I just put 9 in a box. Now, 1 plus 2 would mean this is 6. 9 plus 3 would mean this is 5. Now, this is the 9. If this was a 6, I can't put a 1 here. Right. So this has a 6 in it. If this is 9, 7, then where do I put the 1 without... No, this has to be the 6. The sandwich clue can't go up because this would be a 0. It has to go down. I can only put 6 between, and the minimum that could be therefore is 6, with that being the 1, which makes that the clue. This is now another 2, 3 clue, which means this is a 4 and this is a 6. Because this is the low digit that's not there. This is another 2, 3 V clue. And now there's another trick we can use. So 2 and 3 must go down here. Now, if this was a 2 or a 3, the other 2, 3 would go on the V clue, which would automatically make the other cell on the V clue 2, 3, and I'd end up with 3, 2, 3s along here, which doesn't work. So this can't be a 2, 3, and this is a 2, 3 V clue, giving me a 2, 3 pair in the column. Now, this is only 6, 7, or 8, because if it was 9, this would be a 1, which it can't be. So this is 2, 3, or 4. We know these cells sum to 9. So these cells have to sum to 21. Because this is 1 plus those summing to 8. This is 1 plus those summing to 8. So these have to sum to 21, which means how do you get to 21 in 3 digits? There's a couple of different ways of doing it, but are worth keeping in mind. But if I use a 5, the other 2 digits would have to be 16, but I can repeat digits, so I could use 8, 8. But I know this is at least 5. And this is at least, hang on, this is 5, and this is at least 4, because it can't be 1, 2, 3. This is 4, this is 9, because this sees 1, 2, 3. These sum to 5. If this was anything other than a 4, I'd blow the total. So this is a low 4. This is the 9. That 4 takes 4 out of there, which takes 6 out of there. That 6 did the same thing. 7, 8 pair makes this the 6, which makes this a 1, 2, 3. And the only thing on that can sum to 5 is the 2, 3, making this the 1, which means this is also a low digit. I'm happy with my high-low coloring rather than the sandwich coloring. There's still stuff going on here. If this was a 9, there's a 1 in one of those two cells. If that's a 1, and this can't be the 1. Right, there's more going on in the 4 clue. What I am going to quickly do is I'm going to mark off that I've done that sandwich clue and I've done that sandwich clue. Because I've completed that and I've got the 9, 1. I don't have the 20 and I don't have the 4. But if this was a 1, this would have to be a 4, and it can't be. So that's not the 1, and this is the 1, making that low. And of course, these are now 2, 3. Why is there that weird... I'm seeing a weird white band at the top there. No idea what that is. Oh, well, I think... Oh, I think I know what that is, and that's a rendering issue which may have been introduced in a new version. I know, yeah, there's not much I can do about that now. I'm just going to move on. The rest of you may encounter this as well, and I'm sorry about that. Okay, so, um, I don't want to get distracted by that. I want to keep thinking. Where does 1 go in this box? These are all high. These are 7, 8, 9, which means this is the 6 in the cage. Where does 1 go in this box? It goes here. And the reason these were 7, 8, 9 is this was a 6, 7, 8, 9 cage, but there's already a 6 in this box. So this had to be the 7, 8, 9, making that the 6. Now, this makes this the 1, which makes this the 5. And I've finally got a 5 in the grid. These are all low and high, so the 5 in this box goes here, which puts 5 in one of those two cells. This is now the 4 because I've got the 1, 2, 3, so that becomes the 4, and I put 4 in one of those two cells. I'm not sure this was the intended way to solve this puzzle, but it was very, very cool. I've really enjoyed this. So these are 4 and 5. 4, by the way, here is low. These are 4 and 5. Now, actually, I don't know these are high. These sum to 15, and I can't use a 6. So these are now 7 and 8. And these are 7, 8, 9. I'm just going to put 7, 8, 9 in. And these are 4, 5, 6. Hang on, I've got roping going on. There's roping going on here. Actually, there's roping going on here as well. So 7, 8, 9, 7, 8, 9, this is 7, 8, 9. But 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, this is a 1. Now the question is, which is low. Now the question is, this is 7, 8, 9. I can't put 7, 8, 9 in any of those. So this is a 7, 8 pair, which are high. And now, where does 7, 8, 9 go in this box? They go here. There's 7, 8, 9 here as well. So that is 7, 8, 9. Now, these have to be 4, 5, 6. So that is 4, 5, 6, and this is a 5, 6 pair. Double roping. 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9. That's a 5. There's a 6 or a 9 on this. We know there's a 1 down, or there's a 1 in one of those two. Actually, I want to think about this again, don't I? Because those sum to 9. These had to sum to 21. So those dark green cells have to sum to 21. I'm not sure if the high-low coloring is helping me anymore. Hang on. Why have I got no 6 in here? Was that a typo? I can't see why there's no 6 in there. I can see why there's no 4 in there, but I can't see why there's no 6 in there. Because if I put 4 there, these have to sum to 8. These would both be 4. That doesn't work, but I can't see why there's no 6 in there. But I think I am going to get rid of the high-low coloring now. That before I look at these, I am going to get rid of the high-low coloring. So I'm going to get rid of the yellow and thing. But before I think about these green cells, I want to think about this column. If this is a 9, before I hit a 1, which is down here somewhere, these would all have to sum to 4. That's not going to work. That's not a 9. So down here, I need to go 9, 4, 1. Because I can't do 3, 1 because the 3 is in one. Well, there's no other way of doing a sandwich clue that sums to 4 because the only other way to sum to 4 is 3, 1, but 1 is one of the sandwich crusts. So 9, 4, 1 has to be down here. So these 3 cells, because I've got a 7, 8 pair now, that's the 9. This now has to be 4, 1. So this is 4 and 1. And now the 4 sandwich clue is complete. So this is 1 higher than this. So this can't be the 5, because if this is 5 and 1, this would have to be 6, but the 6 is gone. So this is the 5. So these digits here are 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 2, 3, and 9. But if this is a 9, that would have to be an 8, and it can't be. So this is 2 and 3. This is the 9. Which means this can't be the 1, because if this is the 1, this would have to be a 9, and I don't have it available. So this is the 1. The 9 takes the 9 out of both of those. This 2 looks up making that 3 and that 2. This 3 looks up making that 2 and that 3. This 9 looks up taking 9 out of there. So because there's no 9 in either of those, that's the 9. And now I've got displaced 7, 8 pairs. Okay. Now this arrow could be interesting. If I don't put a 1 on this arrow, surely I'm broken. Actually, the question is, what is this? Because this has to have a low and a high digit, and the only high digit left, because it's 7, 8, 9 is go, this is 4, 6. So this arrow is made up of 1, 2, and 3. And I've got roping again. So this is the 3, which is 1 plus 2. And now I've got roping again. This is 1, 2, 3. There's roping in every band in this puzzle. So this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 4, 5, 6. So these are 4, 5, 6. And 7, 8, 9. These have to be 7, 8, 9. And these have to be 7, 8, 9. This is nuts. Now, I still need to think about this. Now, there's no, where is the 1? The 1 is here. And then these have to, there has to be a 20 sandwich. Now, I can't put 20 into that cell, so that's not 9. The next place I could put 9 here is here. Now, the other way of thinking about a sandwich clue is the entire column is going to sum to 45. If I remove the crusts, which sum to 10, the digits not inside the sandwich, or not including the crust, the possible digits we have now sum to 35. Now, the sandwich sums to 20, so 35 minus 20 is 15. So outside the sandwich, I need digits that sum to 15. Now, we know that all of those digits there, marking them in yellow, must be in the sandwich because there's no 9 available. And we know these digits are outside. The 9 is in one of those two. Can I make those two cells sum to 15? I can't because the maximum is 6 plus 3. So if this was the 9, I'd have to make those two cells sum to 15 and I can't do it. So that right there is the 9, which means that's not the 9. And I need to make these cells sum to 15, which is easier math than making those cells sum to 20. Now, the reason this is, or actually, I can't use my entropy trick because I've got a high, a low, and a middle digit. Making those sum to 15. Well, it gave me the 9. So let's see what the 9 does first. All of this is now trickier math. If this is 8, these would have to sum to 7. There's multiple ways of doing that. 7, these summing to 8. There's multiple ways of doing that. So, okay. Now, we still have these. We've now got 18. Wait a minute. So these need to sum to 12. Because 9 plus 9 is 18. So the green cells left have to sum to 12. So if this is 6, this would have to be a 6, and it can't be. So this has to be 5 and 7, which are the minimums, which makes this 8 and this 9. So that's got me that 30. That 5 makes that 6. The 5 makes that 4 and that 5. The 7 makes that 8 and that 7. The 7 and the 9 look down, making that 8. That becomes the 7, and that becomes the 9. This became a 2 ages ago, which looks up, making that 3 and that 2. This has to sum to 9, so that's 6. Taking 6 out of both of those. 6 comes out of both of those. This 3 looks up, making that 2 and that 3. Okay. Do I now want to look at this 30 sum? Because these digits here are 11, 15, 24. Those digits there need to sum to 6. And the minimum I could make them is 2 and 4, which is 6. So that's a 2 and that's a 4. The 2 makes that 3. The 4 makes that 5 and that 6. The 5 looks up making that 4, which takes 4 out of those. This 6 looks up making that 5 and that 6. The 5 looks up making that 4 and that 5. Now this 2 looks down making that 3 and that 2, which looks down why the X makes that 8 and takes 8 out of both of those. The 2 looks up making that 3 and that 2. This 4 looks down making this 6 and this 4. And now I've got this 9 looking down making this 7 and this 9. The 7 looks up making this 8 and this 7. The 7 looks down making this 8 and this 7. Now I've got these 7, 8 deadly patterns, but I've got this 30 clue to resolve it. So this is 7, 15, 18, 20... No, wait. 7, 15, 18, 22. In order to get to 30, that has to be the 8. So that's the 7, which makes that 8, that 7, which looks up making that 8 and that 7. And that's the correct solution to All About 30 by Schma. It's 585 solves in 18 days. That makes sense. This is a very, very cool little puzzle. I really enjoyed that one. I thought the break-in, I have no idea if I was supposed to use high-low that way to break into the puzzle, but that's the way I found into the puzzle, and I thought it was really, really cool. Using the high-low to put the pressure on those sandwich clues, just stunning. Yeah, no idea if that was the intended path. I have no idea what the intended path was, but if you found a different way that was more efficient or whatever, cool. But I enjoyed the path that I found, and that's what matters. That was very, very cool. Thank you for the person who recommended this puzzle. Thank you for Schma for giving permission to do the puzzle. And yeah, really, just a lot of fun. I'm having so much fun recording these. I'm recording a bunch in a row, taking a few hours break between each when I can. But I'm recording multiple puzzles in a day at the moment, and I'm having a blast. So I hope you're having fun seeing them as well. Thank you everyone for watching, and as always, good luck with your solving.